Hi guys, I'm Spaceship, and this is the first part of my explanation of why I don't like a certain character very much. You can consider it a setup or a prequel of sort for the main video. It's like my own version of a retrospective for the series, or actually just one certain aspect of it. So, without further ado, let's begin. As they say, to walk gently into the future, you need to first look back at the mistakes of the past. Ratchet and Clank sadly never had the best record when it comes to female protagonists. I mean, in the first game we had... In the second game, we are introduced to many people's favorite Angela Cross. Her personality is snappy and clumsy, I guess. She has more of a supportive role, and we never see her again after that game. I personally think that most of the love that she gets in the fandom is either from nostalgia or because of the ambiguity if she's a Lombax or not. Yeah, that discussion is a big thing, and I think it might contribute to the fact that she never came back, because just developers are not sure what to do with her, and they're panicked. We had that one radio broadcast that told us that yeah, she's a Lombax and female Lombaxes don't have tails, which turned out not to be true, which in my opinion was a very stupid move, especially for just a throwaway line. Which, hear me out guys, hot take, just make her half a Lombax. It's not that hard. We have interspecies relationships in these games, so why not children? It would make sense why Ratchet did not recognize her, because she's not a purebred, and maybe she was raised by her non-Lombax parent, so she doesn't know much about the history or culture of their people. And maybe she was sent to Bogan Galaxy with that parent because of the problem with Tachyon, to keep her safe, just in case, even though she's not a purebred Lombax. I honestly think that's the best solution that eliminates all of our problems. But who am I to say it? Then, in Up Your Arsenal, we are introduced to Sasha. She has no personality at all. Well, unless you'd call being a president's daughter a personality trait. But no. Every single thing that she does in the game could have been done by the Phoenix onboard computer, and it wouldn't change a thing. Well, maybe except for the kiss scene, but still! She's a waste of a cute catgirl design with a cool suit. Not to mention that she's an example of a huge nepotism in this galaxy, but maybe that was on purpose. In Deadlocked, we get Juanita, who's not really a protagonist, but I needed to mention her because I miss her. And Hydro Girl. She actually only appears in the ending cutscene thanking Ratchet for help, but there was supposed to be actually a mission of saving her, and she was supposed to be kind of a love interest for Ratchet for that game. But she wasn't, so she's just there, I guess. She seems cute though. Okay, tools of distraction, here we go! I never shied away from the fact that I don't like Talwyn. I really don't. And why? Because of two words. Wasted potential. We first meet her on Apogee Space Station. She's kind of snarky and makes fun of Ratchet for not knowing anything about Lombaxes, though he's one of them. But I like that she stopped doing that later. I guess she just realized that it's kind of hurting people's feelings. But not bad start. I like a character who can change for the better. She was also very protective over the fact that her dad is missing, not dead. So I was like, yeah, okay, interesting. That's gonna be a plot point later. Spoiler alert! I was wrong. She mentions her father a few times, but it's never important. Her living sheltered on the station or knowing so much about Lombax culture and history also never comes back later. Actually, I've learned that in the first draft of the script, she was supposed to betray Ratchet at the end because Tachyon promised her to find her father for her. I was so blown away when I heard that. It would make so much sense. It would be such a great payoff to her character. Like, she doesn't even know if he's actually alive, but that belief would be so strong in her. Oh, that would be so great. And I don't even want her to be a villain. She can, at the very end, be like, I'm so sorry. And Ratchet would be like, I forgive you. But we did not get any of that. No, we got her staring blankly at Ratchet when he tries to make a decision if he wants to stay or go to Lombax's. With the most dead eyes I have ever seen in the video game. That shot actually made me chuckle. Because it's supposed to be dramatic, it's supposed to be emotional. Ratchet is supposed to, like, see that he has something to fight for here in this galaxy. But I don't know, is he like, no, she needs an exorcism, so I'll stay. Other than that, we save her from the Zordon prison. Later, she helps Ratchet look for Clank in Quest for Booty, and honestly, all she does is needs saving again. I was so happy that I could, like, leave her in those sewers. So I did, and I was so disappointed that she came back. And a while later, needed saving again! Look, I don't mind when a character needs saving or help from somebody, because we all need help sometimes. No one is invincible. And the moments when characters get vulnerable can be really powerful. But she is the actual damsel in distress. But the fact that she's not only completely absent, but replaced by Captain Quark of all characters in A Cracking Time, which is arguably the best story in the entire series and the best game in the entire series, I think is telling you something. Well, we don't get any female protagonists in A Cracking Time, sadly, but we got some bad bitches there. All for One has this annoying little thing that fits perfectly to the cringe fest of that game. Psst.
I actually really like All for One, but not for the writing reasons.
And Full Frontal Assault doesn't exist. And then we move to Nexus, where we got... oh, Talwyn again. Okay. So we get her in the opening cutscene, and she's great! I love what they did to her. She's funny, she has personality, and she's not changed that much. Like, she doesn't feel like she was brutally rewritten. Like, yeah, I'm digging it. Maybe that will change my mind on her. Oh no. Yeah, I'm throwing all that praise out of the window, thank you very much. Like, there's this one scene, and spoilers by the way, where she learns that Kronk and Zephyr, two best friends of her father's and two guys who actually raised her when her father left, two only people she knew for a while in her life, two only friends she had, only family members she had, were murdered. And what is her reaction?
We lost Kronk and Zephyr.
You lost them?
An exhale. I think I've been too critical about her dead eyes in Tools of Destruction. Like, this reaction is bad. Not to mention she immediately after goes like, "No, Ratchet, Clank, be careful, you're all I have left now." Like, whoa girl, that sinked in pretty fast. I'm not saying you should show not tell, but you should show not tell! You know how I would fix this? Make the signal glitchy, so she barely understands what you're saying. Barely like shout at you to be careful and stuff like that. Later, when we meet her in the game, you can like confirm stuff and okay, yeah, I knew that already and stuff and just be sad. But emotions? Pfft, who needs that? We just killed those two for the after credits gag. Well, in Nexus we also meet Vendra, who starts as a very promising antagonist. She's creepy, she has that old Disney witch vibe. I like it, she laughs and taunts you while she takes control over the ship. And she has a cute design, it's simple, but I always liked Jack Spicer the best. Like this little nightmarish fairy from Hot Topic. She's cruel and side-minded. I love it! But then you clearly see that the game was rushed and was supposed to be way longer than it actually ended up to be. So her character backstory is in the audio logs, and in the end it turns out she's just a bratty teenager, oh no. And she helps at the end because she was betrayed by some giant monster that she thought was supposed to be her friend. So yeah, great concept, great start, another wasted potential. I actually would love her to come back to have more of a character development and maybe even be a playable character. Just imagine using the powers in gameplay. Whew! Okay, when it comes to 2016 reimagining, I'm not gonna talk about the game. I'm sorry, but for the story and writing, the movie is sadly a superior version. Especially when it comes to our female character, which we get two of them here. First is Cora. She's tough, hot-headed, and no-nonsense kind of gal, with the laziest design I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, side note, Cora and Talwyn are like the worst when it comes to design. They're just anime girls with elf ears, and when it comes to Talwyn, a tail. They couldn't even give Cora a tail! It just seems so lazy in such a colorful and wild universe. Okay, coming back. She has a good basis, but nothing more. Like, at all. The second one is Elaris, and I must say it, she is the best one so far. She's a kind-hearted nerd, she has her quirks, and a cute design. There was a huge potential there for her to like grow out of her shell and actually tell off other rangers for how they treated her, but it never happened. No one even apologized to her! They just laughed at their old photos, and they just agreed, yeah, we need a plan. It's just another wasted potential. But at least there was something. For such a minor character that she was, she had enough, I think. Yeah, there are also some honorable mentions. Like, for example, Helga. I love her, she's a queen. But writing-wise, she's just a joke. I love Courtney Gears, but she's straight up evil, so not a protagonist. Who else? No, that's it. I would say quality over quantity, but no, not here. I can't say it here. Sadly, I'm sorry. So as you see, we're not in the most ideal situation, especially with the fandom that actually has a lot of girls in it, me being one of them. So making a new protagonist in a new game a girl is actually a great idea. Not to mention making a playable female character, am I right? I mean, for me, for example, there's no freaking difference between playing as a female character or playing as a male character. Some of my favorite protagonists are male and some of my favorite protagonists are female. So I wasn't joyfully jumping in my chair hearing that announcement, especially since in the first teaser we already got our first look at her and her design.